forehand time today. So I've had some people reach out recently. I've just been helping some people out, and it's got me thinking, and been seeing some different people struggle with kind of the same problems. And I think it was kind of like this off season thought of like a different way to think about fixing one of the problems that we will cover. But yeah, I'm just gonna give a couple tips in hopes to improve your sidearm. There's just things that work for me. I'd like to think I'm fairly dominant sidearm or sidearm player. I don't like to always have to rely on it, so obviously always working on the backhand. But first off, people are gonna ask in the comments, grip, mid-ranges and stuff, like anything 5-speed and under, I go split fan grip, and then drivers and everything, I go one finger. It just lays, it kind of hooks right on that crease and lays perfectly all in the rim. But not what we're covering. So main issue I see players struggle with it's really the timing and nose angle. So we'll go over footwork first. I'm a big fan of the hop. I don't really like it when people do the front crossover step. I personally think that's a little harder to time and a little less explosive, less easy to throw. I don't know. I mean, you see in baseball or any real throwing sport where they're really ripping into something. I mean, from the outfield, it's that crow hop, replacing the front foot with the right foot. Everything's loaded, so then it can just slam through. Ground ball, shuffle, little crow hop. You don't see them stepping in front. So pretty simple. Left foot, and then it's just gonna hop to replace the front foot. And then as the front foot hits, everything else will come through. So it's front foot, back replaces it, and then when that front foot hits, everything goes. So footwork down, hop, literally just replace the front foot. In fast motion, it's gonna look like second. People we'll go nose angle first. People like to come, I don't know, Macbeth's got a real solid forehand, but people try to mimic his, and they're bringing it all this extra movement up here, and now their disc is almost vertical in their backswing, and then they have to swoop to try to get to the angle they want. And for a lot of people, that's just not gonna work. And it's just gonna create inconsistencies. It's easier when you're timed up with your lower body maybe, but also try getting it. I like to just try to keep it straight back, straight forward. Hopefully I'm still centered here. I should drew myself a little box on the ground. But anyway, try to keep it on a flat plane. The nose is still probably gonna lift up a little bit, but you're just gonna wanna over exaggerate and bring that straight back. And then from there, straight forward. And it's so much, and then throwing Anheuser, bring it straight back on Anheuser, and then it can stay on that plane it's moving on. But it's a very hard problem to fix for most, because again, it feels like they're doing it, and it's still just resulting in coming up like past like 45 degrees of nose angle. And one thing I like to think about to help try to fix that is don't focus on bringing the disc back, more focus on elbow placement. So how we're gonna find that is when you do the crow hop and just little hop, replace, just get to that position back here, and then you're gonna flex flex your bicep, your elbow, and just feel the position of where that elbow and your arm is. Just flex it and really feel where that's sitting. And it's gonna be so much easier to replicate getting your elbow to that place than trying to get the disc to that place and focus on that. Because if I'm holding the disc like this, if I get my elbow back here, I'm not gonna be able to swoop this up, because my elbow, like, unless I'm holding the disc like this to start. But if I focus on getting my elbow into that position rather than the disc, one, I think it's easier because it's a shorter movement to get to. I mean, the elbow is starting right here and it's literally moving to right there, and it's kind of staying tight, and it's only moving like maximum 6 inches back, where the disc is out in front and then moving freaking this far, over a couple feet. So I mean, it's just finding different ways to reduce variable. And so in nose angle, it can get so sensitive, especially in any wind or anything. So you want to get that as consistent as possible. And I think if this is going to be locked, and the only way you can come up with it is if the elbow's up. So again, we're going to keep that tight. Just feel where that's at. Just flex the arm, feel where that elbow position should be. And it's so much easier to just get the elbow back there rather than focusing on where I should move the disc. And then that will also help eliminate, I'll turn this way, a lot of people will overreach too when they reach back, and they're like, yeah, we'll face this way, I don't know what I was thinking. They'll overreach, so they're back here and the disc is almost behind them. And then when the elbow punches through, I mean, you can already see it punches through and then creates like essentially rounding in the forehand. So again, when you're finding the reach back position, make sure it's nice and kind of just in its own lane out here. That way the elbow driving is the only thing that pulls it offline. But then as soon as the arm flings back out, it's like resuming the line. So it's in a way the only deviation off of that line and plane that you're creating is the elbow drive, but it gets back to that position you started in every time. Where if I'm reaching over here, now I'm coming this way, then this way, and it's creating way too much movement. So if you could just get right back out here and just keep it on this plane right out here, and every time you're going to hit that exact same line. Where if I try to come out here, like I don't even know how to do that. It feels so bad coming here, and then it's like you lose so much momentum you create as well. But again, so we got lower body, back foot replacing the front foot. We got finding that elbow position for you to where you're not rounding and you're not exposing the nose angle an extreme amount. And lastly, we'll cover up just timing, because a lot of people I see they'll even if they do the hop and they have a lot of the things correct, the timing's not there because they're essentially not reaching back soon enough. And then they'll hop, and then as they go forward, they'll reach back, and you're losing, one, all the power you just built up, and two, you're stretching your body apart and counter, just like it's a complete opposite of what you want. You want to be reach back, loaded, everything can slam through. And again, baseball, if you don't see the outfielders crow hopping, and then as they're moving forward, then reaching the ball back, you know, blow out your shoulder. So what I like to do, I do it before all my forehands. I sit there and I just feel that timing over and over. And it's gonna feel super uncomfortable at first, especially if you struggle with that issue. But I essentially start reaching back as soon as that left foot plants, is when my disc kind of starts to drop. And then I'm fully reached back. And there might be like the smallest bit of movement because I kind of, if anything, as I reach back, then that elbow almost comes up to build a little bit more driving through that pocket, essentially, power pocket of the sidearm, and just keeping that tight. So I like to have just this little, it can be straight back, whatever, but you'll see me a lot on my little swoop. But to time it up with the left foot is as soon as you step, it's just right there. And then I'll throw these last two. But yeah, and then the front foot is what initiates everything coming forward. So it's front foot, the swing back timing starts. And again, this is going to work better if you find your elbow position, keep the nose angled nice and controlled, and works for this kind of footwork essentially. But as soon as the front foot hits, drops, fully loaded by the time the back foot hits. And then when the front foot hits is when everything slams through and drives together. But we'll throw these two, just nice soft approaches. And that way, if I'm missing, it's just gonna be by this much. I really don't ever shank any sidearms just because I'm keeping it in its own lane and elbow position's good, and nothing funky with my nose angle. And yeah, the misses are just gonna be there, where if you're pulling your body apart and it's coming up here, you have so many different areas that you have to hit, essentially. I like to think of it as a kind of like a video game where you're like going for different combos, like if you're playing like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or something, and it's like different combos that have to like be timed, and there's just more and more controls that you have to hit in a short period of time before getting there, where if you reduce the combo and to way less steps, you're gonna hit it way more often. Yeah, don't know even why I brought those up, because don't even play those games really. But anyway, just having so much less movement will just create an exponential amount of consistency. And if you have any further questions, comment below, and we can figure it out. If you're struggling with anything, maybe you can have a quick tip that can help you or something. But hopefully these 3-4 tips can help improve your sidearm and get you on your way, because I think everyone should have a sidearm about a 300. If you have a serviceable 300-foot sidearm, you are going to save so many strokes in your game. That's just, if it's a consistent, can throw a 300-foot sidearm wherever you want, game over for everyone else. And that's all a lot of people need. But thank you very much for the support. Hopefully you enjoy this video. Hopefully my head's in frame right now. That would suck if it wasn't. And I will see you in the next one. Let me know what you guys want to see, and peace.